Talking about fluoride today. I'm starting off with a clip from a YouTuber I like a lot named Zerka.
Taught you it's a fairy tale, bro. You have to delete all of it, bro. Wisdom is not learning; it's unlearning. Your mind's been.
Okay, then he says some bad stuff. But another quote from him too is that you need to base your worldview on the fact that everyone who's came out with the car running on water, everyone who's found the cure to cancer, that they all end up dead. You know, that's what you have to have this based on. Because if you're like, oh, what about peer-reviewed studies, bro? What do you mean, dude? Like, dude, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Okay, with that basis, let's get into it. So, basically, fluoride is in all tap water, pretty much in America. Um, they say it's like a dental tool. It's supposed to help you, like prevent cavities, pretty much. And there's actually research on this. There's a bunch of studies that say like, yeah, no, it works. It's good. I texted ChatGPT one time. Does fluoride harm you? Blah blah blah. Harm the average American? It's like no, fluoride's good. Pretty much, it's recommended by all these dentists, bro. But I bought this book, um, from a Jewish guy's garage sale, like 2 months ago, maybe after church, and I wrote down a lot of quotes from it. I have my list of pages to look at right here. So I just want to get into some of the quotes. I just think that it's very interesting stuff. It's not like it's tough to say if this was like initially brought in to be negative or if they genuinely thought it was good at first and then realized later. Some people talk about it being a waste product and stuff. I couldn't tell you the reason, to be honest. I just can't. I'm not science man. But I don't know. I just think that this proves a lot about how science is kind of fake. You know, like the stuff that they're putting out is funded by some group every time, and just like 90% of the time, it's not right. But I wrote about this in one of my essays recently. Noam Chomsky talks about manufacturing consent. His idea is that 80% of people, the uneducated average man, are just going to buy whatever the media tells them, right? So, for example, with COVID, 80% of people hear there's this virus and it's really infectious and it's bad, so they have to stay inside. And they're just like, okay, whatever, I'll stay inside. The 20%, these are your doctors, your PhDs, your lawyers, whatever. They want to know, okay, how bad is this? They're like the ones that need to be convinced, right? And so they put out whatever and convince them. And I mean, if your doctor, lawyer, friend is telling you something, you're gonna be like, alright, you know. So pretty much just the idea is that everything, a lot of your beliefs and understanding of the world is just from something else. And I mean, it's not to say that it's always wrong what they're telling you by any means, of course, but like, just if you were researching everything on your own, every little piece of things, you'd be like, huh? But anyways, that's what it is with this. So let's get into it. This book is a little dated. Let's see, is there like the date that they wrote this in here? I'm gonna be flipping through this like a lot of 1975. Okay, so here's the thing: if you're finding information and it's like a recently written article, I'm like, bruh, it's probably cap, to be honest. All the real shit that you'll ever find is gonna be written before the 70s, because America really started getting controlled then. I don't want to get into all of it. It's like this whole Nazi thing. It's like actually really crazy. Pretty much after Operation Paperclip, when we established all the Homeland Defense stuff, that was when we lost a lot of true science, and that's when you see America start to fade too. I mean, at the 70s, it was like the hippies started smoking crack, and now we're here and we have liberals and like dog people at schools and stuff. All right, so a lot of flipping. I'm just gonna summarize all the main points of this book right now. Pretty much, the initial studies were on 1.2 ppm, and somehow it became 12 ppm, to everyone's understanding. And ppm is points per something. I don't know. It's in here somewhere. I'm not gonna find it. It's not that important. Okay, so pretty much the main reason that you don't hear about this is because most people tend to feel that it's not worth their while and risk getting into trouble with their professional organizations. That's what this says right here. People are often making statements like fluoride is essential to life, fluoride is absolutely safe, fluoride cuts dental decay by half, or 60 or 70 or 90%, depending on the speaker. Okay? So like the fact that you see statistics just getting changed, and that there's a medical phenomenon that you hear most people just, it's not worth their while, they don't even want to deal with the amount of pushback that they're going to get. It's a little strange, you know, like why is someone getting pushed by like that? Page 18. Most people soothe their arguments by saying there's bigotry on both sides. Okay, this is exactly what you saw during COVID. It's the same thing with political discourse, BLM, all that stuff, right? Superficially, the dose can be worked out fairly easily. It is usually accepted that children should have no more than 1 milligram a day, adults no more than 2 milligrams a day. More will not necessarily cause any harm, but dental fluorosis has occurred at lower levels. Natural or traditional diets rarely exceed 1 milligram a day. Industrial diets do. Adding another 1 milligram per liter of drinking water doesn't make sense then, which is like what they did at the time of this writing. In Austria, the leader of the medical health said that they should stop stocking fluoride toothpaste from local chemists, even though local chemists should stop stocking it, whatever, even though he was an ardently pro-fluoridation man, right? Even if you confine yourself to water only, the optimum or safe dose for adults would be only around 4 pints, or more precisely 2 liters. The average amount of water drank a day by an adult is 2.26 liters, right? So, pretty much it says here that a woman who suffers from urethritis or bladder complications who are advised to drink half a pint of water every 20 minutes would reach their optimum dose for a whole day in exactly 2 hours and 40 minutes, right? Water apart has been shown by John Muir of the Division of Biology, National Research Council of Canada, says that the total dose in the West in industrial areas may now be 5 milligrams a day, and in Japan it is as much as 11 milligrams a day has been recorded. The significance of this is that, you see, this was written at a time way before corporations took everything over, right? Like, do you go to a local grocery store? Are your groceries at your grocery store? It's probably not local. Are they locally sourced? Or is this coming from big corporations, right? You have to think, water is in literally everything, bro. The vegetables that you're eating, the fruits that you're eating, were watered by probably hose water, probably tap water. I doubt that they got it from a river, right? So it's in your food too. That's why they talk about being in industrial areas. But Japan was significantly more advanced than us at the time. They had a lot more of their corporations selling all their foods and stuff. So that's why they had 11 milligrams a day. You have to think, bro. It's been 50 years. Think about how much more corporations have taken over in America. We're getting insane amounts of fluoride in our water. And there's literally no reason. Like, the safe amount is 1.2 parts per whatever. We're getting I'll talk about it later, but insane amounts more than that, like probably over 10 times more. One may therefore ask, why add another milligram per liter of water. If some people are already getting too much, and how can you calculate the effects of a pharmacologically active dose-dependent substance if you do not know what the total dose is? The authorities have been repeatedly accused of ignoring these 2 points, even though it would be wrong to say that they have completely neglected them. They just ignore it. They're like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. In 1953, the report of the United Kingdom mission to the U.S., which recommended fluoridation, suggested that the use of products which are naturally high in fluoride content, such as bone meal tablets or of lozenges, the dentifrices, or chewing gum, which fluoride has been added, should be avoided where drinking water has been fluoridated. Right? But you have to think, you're not avoiding water or like any products. Like the amount of fluoride that you're getting is insane. I'm not going to get into the contributions of fluoride towards actively harming your brain after birth, but I have some stuff to say about harming your brain before you're born. If excess fluoride consumption is continued, there would be modeling of the teeth, which is also called dental fluorosis, and in time the teeth may become stained. Later, such teeth may become brittle and eventually will be impossible to make them hold ordinary fillings. Two well-known researchers, M.C. Smith and H.V. Smith, at the University of Arizona Agricultural Experimental Station, observed years ago that when dental decay does set in, the results are often disastrous. According to some writers, such modeling is now common in some fluoridated communities, and the U.S. dental journals even advise adhesives to cover up the stains. This is exactly like... Never mind, I'm not going to get into that. But... Okay, I'll just say it. This is literally the equivalent of corporations praying that you get depressed, like Big Pharma, so you get addicted to their drugs. It's the same thing. It creates a complex in the medical industry where people are 10 times more needing to go to dentists and get their teeth whitened and all this stuff. Bro, we've been around this earth for thousands of years. Like, we don't need to do this. You don't need to brush your teeth every night. You don't need to see a dentist twice a year. It's a fabricated industry, bro. This isn't real. Like, yeah, I go to the dentist. My teeth aren't that good. Like, these are messed up. But anyways, I go to the dentist. I brush my teeth, yeah. But like, we don't need to do this, bro. You're not gonna die if you don't brush your teeth. Like, I doubt that your grandparents brushed their teeth much growing up. Let's see, this is 21. Big skip. The general public does not realize that gigantic power... Oh, sorry, this is the mayor of Atlanta in 1961. The general public does not realize the gigantic power structure which is pushing fluoridation. The PHS spends over $840 million per year in grants, cooperative programs, and salary supplementation. Through this, they have welded the state and county organizations into a completely docile and responsive organization, amenable to the slightest pressure from Washington. It's all corruption, guys. It's like when they're all like, get the COVID vaccine. Get the COVID. It works, guys. I got 2 COVID vaccines, bruh, and I got COVID after. It didn't change anything. It made it so that I could be like, yeah, I did this. They just injected some random shit in me. You know? Like the amount of people that said, no, it's good. Hundreds of millions of dollars behind that. It wasn't good, bruh. Like, you didn't do anything. Like, it's all such a sham. And no one realizes it. Just like how your phone is lowering your testosterone and radiating your brain 24/7. Same with your AirPods, those are radiating your brain hella. That's a crazy thing. You have to think about that, bro. Bluetooth, that thing's sending out a signal all the time, and it's literally in your ear, right by your brain. Like, bruh.
Powering off.
Oh, alright. It is often stated that some 10,000 or 3,000 or 28,000 scientific papers have been published on the benefit and safety of fluoridation. It would be more correct to use the word publication than paper. A lot are certainly not scientific papers. The actual number varies, like the percentages. Not a little according on the eagerness of the speaker, like I was talking about earlier. Certainly a lot has been published on the subject. There are relatively few good controlled studies, and much of the literature on fluoride is on toxicity and various medical aspects that could not be said to support the claims for fluoridation. You have to think though, this book is written way before all the psyops, bro. Like, this is when people were, here's the thing. If you want to understand how something actually works, you have to go back to when they first introduced it and see what people thought of it. Because, like, at this point, bro, I haven't been alive since, like, the 50s and 60s. I don't know what life was like before this, you know? They just switched up, and then no one talks about it. And this stuff isn't erased, bro. You just have to look. Like, you literally just have to consciously stop being like, oh, Reddit story with GTA car course. Like, bro, think. Use your brain. And you could find any of this. Like, can you tell how tired I am of telling people shit? And then they're like, what, that's crazy, bro. That's not crazy. You've mind numbed yourself your whole life, bruh. What do you mean that's crazy? There's like a bunch of, are there peer reviewed sources on that? Bro, that's not real. Huh? It cannot be easy for the lay public to decide whether fluoride is a poison or a mineral nutrient. Literally what I just said. T.W. Davenport, a Tasmanian JP, I don't know what that means, has complained that in Tasmania, at the time of fluoridation, fluorides were removed from the poisons list. They literally were like, the government's like, this is a poison, don't do it. And they're like, this is good for you, bro. This is very good for you. Consequently, and somewhat oddly, it became accepted that the high fluoride level was safe because the figures showed no statistical significance. Though the mortality rate in the high fluoride town was 3.5 times that in the lower fluoride town. But then they were like, they debunked this, bro. They debunked this before the Instagram fact checkers were a thing. They were literally like, no, this isn't true, bro. The mission in its report in 1953 even repeats the famous mistake that occurred in the initial printing of the story of the death of a 22-year-old Texas soldier attributed to fluoride, who had lived for 7 years in its region of a 1.2 ppm. This was mistakenly printed as 12 ppm and has been mistakenly quoted many times since. Like, it's just wrong information that just gets pushed. The fluoridation of drinking water releases a fluorine circuit which includes vegetables, fruits, and other horticultural products such as milk, has an uncontrollable effect on a human organism. Like, you can't escape it, bro. Unless you're farming for yourself and getting your animals clean water that's from the earth, it's literally in everything. Like, it's completely unavoidable. I'll skip that page. And then this is what they said. This is what the leaders. The famous leaflet from the Pennsylvania Department of Health gives detailed advice about what to do and say against opposition to fluoride, rather than debate the points the opposition raises. Take the offensive. Never let the antis state something against fluoridation, and then catch yourself answering them. Keep them on the defense by 1. Expose the nature and tactics of the opposition. Show their backgrounds, who they are, the purpose of their fight, how they stand to profit. 2. Ridicule them. The best remedy for fear technique is ridicule. Try to get people to laugh at the antis. Example, the antis shout poison, counter with, the people in Camp Hill are falling over like flies because they have fluoridated water. Bro, what does this sound like? What does this sound like? Bro, what do you mean? What do you mean COVID's fake, bro? Like, it's not fake, obviously. I'm not saying that. But, like, what do you mean it's not that bad, bro? Like, dude. Alright, that was a really dumb claim, actually. I'm not editing any of this, by the way. This is pure flow. It's more like, what do you mean the vaccine doesn't do anything, bro? Like, look, I got it. Well, I'm a zombie. I have a 5G phone, bro. What do you mean? This isn't bad. It's literally the same thing, to a T. Bro, are you like a QAnon person? Bitch. And then I'm just gonna go through the diseases that are linked with fluoride. I'm not gonna go through all these statistics because it's so long. Osteoporosis, and just bone diseases in general. I have one statistic to bring up from this, though. Down syndrome, this is the one statistic. During the late 1950s and early 1960s, Dr. Ionel Rappaport at Wisconsin University did a number of surveys which showed that fluoridated areas had twice the rate of Mongol births as unfluoridated ones. That means Down syndrome. And then, get this, they never translated it to English. No one translated it to English. All the translations are super unofficial, and that's all that people argue against it, even though it's been used repeatedly. Like, people keep quoting it, and they're like, no, bro, it's fake. The second report showed again that roughly, they did another report on it to, like, debunk it, whatever. That one was in, like, France, I think. This one is in Illinois. The second report showed again that roughly twice as many Mongol births at 2.6 ppm as at 0.2 ppm. In more detail, he found that in the 0.2 ppm area, there were 34.15 Mongol births per 100,000 births, or 1 per 2,928. In the 2.6 area, there were 71.59 Mongols per 100,000, or 1 per 1,397. Moreover, the average age of the mothers of the Mongol babies in the high fluoride areas were lower than normal. Like, bro, literal Down syndrome to your children at twice the rate in fluoride areas. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean this is good for my teeth? It's not even good for your teeth either. Fluorosis is the condition of having too much fluoride. Oh, cancer, and this just talks about fluorosis also. Yeah, but cancer growth is stimulated by fluoride in mice. They did a study on it in the 50s and 60s. Alfred Taylor and Nell Carmichael Taylor of Texas University. So don't try and debunk me, bro. I'm giving it to you all. Allergies are found to be a lot more common with fluoride. Organofluorides, which is like harm to your to different organs and stuff, and it can cause hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism. Like, bro, think about how much worse it is now. This was written in the 70s, and all the research is from like the 50s and 60s. Way before the PSYOP. But it's in all our water, all the food you eat, processed or not processed. Like, bruh. But it's not real, guys. But I want to pull up that clip so bad. Alex Jones, where he's like, yeah, I'm lying, guys. It's fake news. It's fake news. Arnold Schwarzenegger's dad wasn't an SS officer, and he didn't say, I love Hitler, guys. I made it all up. None of this. Like, that's how I be feeling talking to any of you motherfuckers. Because I'm like, bruh. Literally a bunch of studies on it. Of course, they're not peer-reviewed, bro. They don't peer-review stuff that, like, harms their opinion. All this research is funded by extremely powerful people. The reality of the situation is that it doesn't matter how just your cause is. They're gonna be like, nah, bro, that thing's wrong and bad. Bro, they don't even teach you how to properly support your back. Having proper lumbar support makes you 70% more productive. Like, huh? What? They don't teach you how to do anything, bro. They teach you how to think certain things and be like, they teach you what's valid, and or at least what you think should be valid. And what they want you to think is valid is just nonsense, bro. It's just random stuff. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching my video. I hope I get a view. Yeah, I'm not saying that COVID isn't real. I didn't do anything. But if I die, I'm just saying I've never been suicidal in my life. It was the CIA. That's all. If they're like, oh, he hung himself one day with no note, without saying a word to anyone. Just fair warning.